Hi everyone and welcome to episode 137 of the Talk is Cheap show. We are live in AFTV studios here in North London. As you guys know, last week I was unable to be here. I was away on a little short break. But it's great to be back and I've got with me, what can I say about this man that hasn't already been said? Let's start with the word legend. Mr. 50K, my co-host, long-time friend, great guy, Mr. Curtis Shaw TV Announced. What are you saying?
Happening, bro?
I'm here, man.
You were swanning off last week. Where was you? Canelo fight, Vegas? Where was you, man?
Nothing as exotic as that. I was actually up in York, which is North Yorkshire.
Nice place, man.
A place, you've been there before.
I've been there a couple of times, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Picturesque.
It is, very picturesque.
Yeah.
Very different to London, but I enjoyed it a lot, man. It's a lot slower.
Needed break.
Much needed break, man.
Yeah.
But I'm here, I'm refreshed, recharged, and I'm looking forward to today's show, man.
Yeah,
I know you're going to tell me a lot. What have you been up to?
Same old, man, same old. Obviously, international break, so no real Arsenal, not too many stories to talk about, but obviously North London derby, and I'm sure we'll touch on the international games as well that have taken place.
Actually, you know what? Let's start with that as our news and notes. International break. Saw the game last night, England versus Germany. It was a good game, actually, man. I enjoyed it.
Finally, an entertaining England game.
The events leading up to that wasn't too spectacular. I mean, I didn't see the Italy game.
No, you didn't miss
People
much.
tell me that, it was a good job I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But we're not really doing that well at the moment, England. But last night there were a few glimmers of hope.
Yeah.
Especially in the second half. I thought the first half was fairly tepid. But the second half, I thought, it's much better. But I've got to ask you, if you're England manager, is Harry Maguire on the plane?
Yeah, he'll be on a plane to Ibiza. I'm telling you.
Man.
But you know what? Listen.
I'm actually starting to feel a bit sorry for him.
I am. And do you know what I was going to say? I remember back in the day, a friend of mine, he always used to hammer Nicholas Bentner and say, this Bentner. I say, you know what? Eventually, I think you have to start to look at the manager rather than the player. I think for Maguire's own good, he needs to be taken out of the firing line a little bit because he's getting blamed for everything. He didn't play well, he made mistakes. But the guy's not playing for United for a reason. I think Southgate's tried to force the issue because of what he's done for him before. But he's even playing badly for England now, so I kind of think for his own good, you've got to take him out, man. And you look at a player like Tomori, won the Italian league last season, playing centre-back for AC Milan, not even on the bench, and yet Maguire's in, Eric Dyer, I mean... I won't say too much about him because we play them at the weekend, but yeah, man, I think Southgate's got to be a bit braver, take the handbrake off. I know everyone's hammering him at the moment, but I think let that team attack and play with a bit more freedom. And you'll see a bit more from them.
I've got to say, it is getting to that stage because I did the watch-along last night on DR Sports, and Lee Judges made a very good point. He was saying that it's getting to the stage with Maguire now where he said, I'm not even blaming Maguire anymore. Yeah, I'm blaming the manager.
Of course, yeah. He's not picking himself. Yeah, I think most fans wouldn't pick him, but it's down to the manager. He's got to be a little bit braver, I think, with his selection. Okay,
but I mean, 3-3 was a creditable draw against. They're not the best German team, but they're a decent side. So does that give you any hope for the World Cup?
I mean, listen, I don't often go into a tournament expecting England to win it, I got to be honest. But I don't think it's as much of a panic as everyone's making out because I saw that France have only won one of their last 6 and they're world champions. Italy won the Euros.
Matthias Pogba's got to take that juju off.
Oh, yeah, well, I ain't going to talk about that, Well, there's all kinds of madness going off there. But I think outside of probably Brazil, Argentina, most of the top countries are not playing that great. So tournament football, you just got to get it together for 6-7 games. So
I think we'll get out the group.
I mean, the way they were playing before last night, I don't know, but listen, stranger things have happened, man. Portugal, when they won that Euros, they just, they weren't great. I don't think England will win the World Cup, but I think if they can get to the quarters, semi-final. But
I mean, I've got a couple of Iranian friends, so they're probably going to having a pop at me, but I'm expecting. I mean, come on.
You're expecting a win in that game.
Yeah, they should get their campaign off to a win.
Yeah.
And then USA and listen. What's your bare minimum?
For me, I think with that attacking talent, you should be getting to the semi-final.
Right. So nothing less than the semi will do for you.
No, not for me. Listen, he's reached a semi-final and a final, so no matter how bad people think Southgate is, I think on paper I'm sure I saw that he's like the second or third most successful England manager in terms of tournament football. But it's just let the shackles off a little bit.
Yeah,
one positive for me last night, being as we're Gooners, was Saka's performance when he came on.
Yeah.
I thought he electrified that game.
It does help when you play him in the right
You know what I mean? You're not playing him at left wing back, even though he plays right wing for Arsenal. But that was positive. So, but I am glad the international break is nearly over. Although Argentina,
we go again. Yeah,
Argentina against Jamaica tonight.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
You know what I mean? That could get really messy, actually. You know.
I think I'm going to be looking at my phone nervously, man.
I mean,
and if it goes wrong, I'm going to be getting a few phone calls from the likes of Belgium, Kelechi, and one or two others, hammering me. Stricto, one of them, man.
Messi will be looking to get the goals up there, won't he?
Oh man! But yeah, so listen, I'm kind of with you, man. I think we kind of, in order to say that we've had a half decent World Cup, I think you got to be looking at semi-finals. But the thing is, you could get to the quarterfinal stage,
lose
get
to
one
a
of the big guns. So I guess we'll have to see how it goes. But England are not favourites by any stretch in imagination. But we are hoping that they will have a good tournament, obviously. But okay. Moving on then.
Proper football.
Football returns this week with a bang after the death of the Queen and then the international break. Massive game this week coming up.
Yeah.
The North London derby this Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. I mean, even for North London derbies, this is a massive game.
Oh, yeah.
Because whoever wins this game, be top of the table, effectively.
Yeah.
So it's not just about bragging rights. And I want to ask you this question straight off the bat. I had a conversation with a couple of influencers over the weekend, and we were going back and forth. And I was saying to them, because obviously you got the Manchester derby coming up this weekend
Sunday,
as well. Yeah. And I threw it out there and I said, listen, to me, the North London derby is the biggest derby, football derby, not just in England, but in Britain. So I'm including Celtic, Rangers and, and stuff like that, and Hearts and all, Hibs and all the other man. What do you think? Would you agree with me or not? I think at this moment in time, this derby here, Arsenal versus Tottenham, is the biggest derby in British football.
I think the argument, it's a good question. I think with Celtic Rangers, obviously it's a massive game because I think it means more than football up there. But as you were saying just before we started, I think the fact that they play each other, 4 times in the league, they usually meet in the cup. They're playing each other 4 or 5 times a season. I think that waters down that derby, in terms of, you see it all the time. I think with Arsenal and Tottenham now, this is definitely the biggest game in the Prem. I would say probably the biggest game in Britain now, if I'm being honest, in terms of a derby.
Yeah.
Because City and United, I feel like over the years that hasn't been the biggest. City have been way lower. And I think it is 2 teams close to each other in terms of where they've been in the table recently. And I think it is. I think, a lot of high-scoring games as well. Every time we play each other, it's a feisty affair. You don't often see a 0-0. It's never really a ball draw. So, listen, I know a lot of Celtic and Rangers fans might be fuming in the comments. I think, listen, historically that game is huge. Yeah. But I think, listen, the fact they play each other 4 or 5 times a season definitely waters down that game.
It absolutely does. What I mean? And then, listen, I know again some of you Scottish men are going to come for me, but you've got to take into account as well the 2 teams that are playing. I think it's fair to say that Arsenal and Tottenham are better than both Celtic and Rangers. So that's got to count for something.
Yeah. The level's higher.
Yeah, the level is higher. Come on now. That is just facts.
Yeah.
Like you said, the Celtic Rangers or Rangers Celtic, you're going to get that game 5-6 times a season minimum. With Arsenal Tottenham, man, it's a massive game. I mean, it's not just in England, people all over Europe, the world. Not to say that Celtic and Rangers won't attract, or Manchester City, man, won't attract, a similar type. But I just think it's more. When I go on the web and stuff like that, when I look at Twitter, the interest around this game, man, is just phenomenal. You know what
I mean, like I said, with the Celtic Rangers one, you know, because I've been to Celtic before, and they are fanatical up there.
Oh yeah, I've been to
They're
Celtic
serious
as well.
about
Yeah,
their football.
I've been to Celtic,
I just think, like you're saying there, the level of football is not as high. I don't think the interest is as high around the world TV-wise. I'm sure more people watch the North London derby than the Celtic Rangers game.
And these are the type of factors that I'm, you know, what I mean, including when I say that, to me, this is the biggest derby.
Yeah, no, I think right now, especially from a footballing point of view, this is it's a massive game.
Let's have a look at some of the comments.
All the best reading them comments anyway.
Yeah, a couple of people calling us clowns. Who we got? The biggest derby in London. That's it. United Liverpool by far the biggest, even though that's not strictly a derby.
No, they're not in the same city, so we're talking about same city derbies, really.
But let's talk about that one for a second. I mean, United Liverpool is a massive game, but I think in recent years it's been diluted somewhat, hasn't it?
Well, the fact that I suppose United have slipped down, and, you know, I think it's a bigger game really when you're at similar levels.
Exactly. That was going to be my next point.
Yeah. So I think that's why I think this Tottenham-Arsenal game has grown a lot over recent years and become like the standout derby in the Premier League, if I'm being honest.
I would say that.
I know the Scottish fans won't be too happy, but we just got to say,
no, it's not a diss.
You got to say what you believe,
not a diss,
innit?
man. You know what I mean? And I understand what you're saying about the cultural and the religious significance of that game. You know what I mean? It does make it a game that is. I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
When it comes along, I always watch games. I've always got an interest in seeing it. But I just think Arsenal, Tottenham, Arsenal is just a bit above that, man. You know what I mean? But hey, well, I guess we'll find out. But anyway, back to the game at hand. I'm really looking forward to this game, man, because like I said, it's not just about bragging rights. Who's the best team in North London or London? Whoever wins on Saturday is guaranteed to top the league, even albeit briefly, but they will do. So look at the form coming in. Both teams are in good form. Let's start with Arsenal. Currently top of the Premier League, 7 games, 18 points, 6 wins, just the 1 loss to Man United. And even in that game, I thought we performed creditably. Tottenham, on the other hand, they're currently 3rd in the Premier League, 7 games, 15 points. Interesting stat about Tottenham, they've not been beaten this season. 5 wins and 2 draws. So yeah, they're going good guns. They've got a very good manager. They're in good form, and got a couple of spiky characters. So yeah, I think this will be a very closely contested, hard-fought, but entertaining game. Yeah, I think there'll be goals. There always seems to be goals in the North London derby. So yeah, I'm I'm really looking forward to this game. The corresponding results last season. At home last season, we beat Tottenham 3-1, and they returned the favour later on. And earlier on this year, you could say, they beat us 3-0 comfortably and kind of put her into our hopes for any Champions League football, which I'm sure they enjoyed. But right, enough of me. Curtis, you're the expert. Tell us what you think about this game, your initial thoughts.
I mean, first of all, excited. It's a great opportunity, I think, for Arsenal, because I think we've made a great start to the season. People still hold that Man United game against us as when you played one of the bigger oppositions. Bit of naivety there, I think. So I think we need to kind of rubber stamp to people that, listen, Tottenham at home, we can beat a big team, you know what I mean? We've got Liverpool next week as well. So we've got to win this game to kind of give us some momentum going into that game. I think we're the favourites for the game. I always think when we're at home against Tottenham, we're the favourites. They're probably the favourites when they're at home, to be honest, as well. There is danger to this game because I think Arsenal fans were very confident. I've spoken to a lot of Arsenal fans. They're all saying, we're going to win. We're going to beat them. We're at home. We'll beat them. There's still that thing of Tottenham and the way Conte sets them up. They just wait for an opportunity to hit you. So I always think when you play against Tottenham, you need to score to kind of make them have to come and attack you a little bit. And I think that's when they're a little bit uncomfortable. I think the longer the game's 0-0, it suits them to wait and try and hit us on the counter-attack. So I think we need to start the game quick. If we can score early, make them have to come out, and hopefully we can punish them. But it's a big game. And for me, it's a must-win game. I don't
Must
think
win,
I don't
yeah.
think a draw would be a good result for us,
No.
considering we're the home team, considering the way United went, and having Liverpool next week. So for me, I think it's a must-win game, but I think we're favourites, and yeah, I would say nervous but excited for it is how I would describe it.
In terms of the team, what kind of team are you expecting to see this week?
I mean,
Arsenal, that is.
I saw Partey and Tierney have flown home with little knocks.
What do you make
Hopefully-
of that?
I mean, sky is blue, water is wet. You know, Thomas Partey's injured. Kieran Tierney's injured. I think we've come to expect that now, unfortunately. From what I've read, they're nothing major, the injuries, so hopefully they should both be available. I mean, Ramsdale didn't play any of the England games, so he'll be fresh. I think a couple of the big decisions for Arteta. Do you play Ben White at right back or do you play Tomiyasu?
Well, I was going to come on to that. Yeah, so actually we've segued very nicely onto it. So there are a couple of decisions there to be made. You mentioned that one, and there's obviously the Tierney-Zinchenko debate.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that one?
I think I would leave Tierney in at left back.
Oh, you leave him in?
Yeah, I'd leave
Oh,
him
I'm
in.
surprised you said that,
yeah,
man.
just because I think this is a game where I think Zinchenko's probably better when you're dominating the ball, when your back's not against the wall as much. I think I would go with Tierney because I think he is the better defender. I think Zinchenko's better on the ball, better footballer. I think Tierney's better defensively. And
But isn't there a school of thought for saying if you're at home,
yeah,
we're more likely to have the ball? So Zinchenko has I would say, and I'm sure you agree,
Yeah.
has a greater attacking prowess. So it would follow that Zinchenko might get the nod
I
because
get
it's
it.
going to offer you a bit more going forward.
I think with me, I'm looking at it, Zinchenko didn't play before the international break, didn't go away with his country. Is he fully fit? Where Tierney, I know Tierney came out of a knock for Scotland, but he played.
Is Tierney ever
Yeah,
fully fit?
yeah, but he played the game before, and I thought he did well. So I would go with the defensive solidarity of Tierney and have
That's
Zinchenko on the
interesting.
bench.
Because
Obviously,
I kind of thought you were going to
go
lean to
Zinchenko.
it, but you know, I hear what you're saying.
No, I think I would stick with Tierney, and then right back's a difficult one because
It is, yeah.
I mean, Son's just scored a hat trick, and he scored a free kick the other day for his country as well. So his confidence is going to be high now. Do you play Ben White against him, who isn't a right back but has done very well at right back, or do you go with Tomiyasu, who's the specialist right back? That's a difficult decision to make.
is.
That a very difficult decision because
Especially in the light of Ben White recently, like you said, he's been playing well. Gets left out the England squad now. Potentially could get left out the Arsenal.
that would smash his.
No,
I
yeah,
think
that's-
personally, Arteta will stick with Ben White.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that as well.
Yeah, I think he will. Out of loyalty, really, because my worry with Ben White, I always said, when one of them top left wingers play against him, he might struggle. But he did really well against Zaha, who is a tricky character.
Yeah.
So I think, listen, if I saw Tomiyasu starting, I wouldn't complain because I would think he's gone with the right back. But I think he will lean towards Ben White just because, like you said, he would shatter his confidence if he
It wouldn't be a
left him
good
out.
look for him. I mean,
No.
listen, I'm sure he'll be able to handle it. I'm sure he's made of the right stuff where he
Yeah.
could handle it. But it would be a very disappointing win.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? You'd be
England
left out the
don't
England
pick you,
squad.
and then drop.
Seeing people like Maguire and Dyer in there, you're
Yeah.
thinking, come on. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah.
he was thinking that, although he never publicly say that.
Yeah.
And then for your own
Team
domestic club, which you've been playing very well all season, then a big game like this,
You get
manager
left out.
says,
Have a rest now,
Sorry,
fella.
man.
Yeah. Thanks for playing all season, but you dropped.
Thanks, you did really well.
Yeah.
And we're going to reward you with a place on the bench, in the
yeah.
biggest game of the season so far.
I
But
think the other one as well is probably Vieira and Odegaard in that number 10 role. Obviously, Vieira made his debut, scored a great goal. But Odegaard's the captain, he's back now.
Yeah.
So what happens there? Again, I think he probably leans towards Odegaard because he's the
I think so. He's a captain,
He's a
isn't he?
captain,
And
yeah.
it's clear that the manager, Mikel Arteta, has a fondness for Odegaard.
Yeah.
He's on the record as saying that, so I'm pretty sure he'll get the nod.
Yeah.
What about in midfield then?
Picks itself, really,
Yeah.
don't it?
No?
Yeah.
Not advocating for Sambi, no?
I thought you'd be advocating for Zambia.
No, but if Partey isn't fit,
Nah, Partey, they got to strap him up. You know, somehow Thomas Partey has to play this game. I don't care if he's 70%, 80%. Strap him up, give him whatever. He has to play this game.
No, I would agree. Listen, man, I've been a fan of Sambi. I've said so a few times.
Still trying to figure out why, but no disrespect, Sambi, man. You got potential, I'm sure. But
but this game, you need the top shotters.
Yeah, the top shotters need to be on the pitch.
Yeah, they need to be on the pitch, man.
And even Granit, he's moving like a top shotter now. To be fair,
he is.
It's his birthday today, actually.
Is it?
Yeah,
wow.
30 years. I'm surprised you didn't know. You're a big fan of Granit.
I must admit, I didn't know that one.
I saw it.
If you're watching Granit, many happy returns, mate. Keep up the good form.
Yeah, keep up the good form.
Because you're gonna,
we're gonna need it this week.
We're gonna need it this week for sure.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to win that midfield battle.
Yeah, so that's covered. Up front,
I mean,
takes care of itself.
That takes care of itself, don't it?
No phone calls.
Well, it's the right phone call, though, isn't it? Not that phone call. It's, you know what I mean? I tell you what, though, let me say something here. Gabriel Jesus, please do not get a yellow card this weekend, because 4 yellow cards, 1 more, and he misses the Liverpool game next week. Yeah. So he needs to be smart, and this is going to be a feisty affair as well. I think Anthony Taylor's the ref. Not a great ref, so please don't get booked.
I think that game, if you look at the individuals on both the teams, you've got Xhaka, you've got Gabriel, Jesus. He's not averse to, bit of talking and stuff like that.
And they've got man like Dyer, Højbjerg.
Richarlison, Højbjerg.
You can see a red card, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's not out the realms of possibility, but it's definitely going to be a feisty affair.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this game, man. So what about Tottenham then? I was going to say who are the danger men, but we kind of know who the obvious danger men are, but which would be Kane and Son, who always seem to score and play well against us. But I mean, I noticed yesterday that for the England game, Harry Kane was dropping a lot deeper.
Yeah, it was.
It'd be interesting to see what kind of role he adopts in the North London derby,
And obviously they've got now Richarlison, who's a bit of a pantomime villain, isn't he? I think he thrives on that.
Yeah, he does.
And
I'm not his biggest fan.
No, I'm not. But he is a good player. He is a good player. And I think he said this week in an interview that Arsenal inquired about him in the summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said they had a conversation with his agent or something.
Well, he's Brazilian. We inquired about him.
Yeah. They do does he speak Portuguese? Yeah, we'll take him.
No, but he is a good player.
Yeah, listen, I think for us, like I said, I think we need to score early against them. I think you look at the Chelsea game, Chelsea I thought were the dominant team against Tottenham, got done by a couple of sloppy goals, bad refereeing. I think you've got to score and make them have to attack you a little bit more, because Conte doesn't mind just putting his team behind the ball and just waiting for an opportunity. So
that's why I think that Son will play as opposed to Richarlison, because I think Son's got the foot speed in him. He's a bit quicker. Yeah. So if you're going to hit teams on the counter, I would imagine that, because let's face it, Kane isn't that quick.
No. So you think he'll go Son, Kane, Kulusevski?
Yeah.
And then maybe bring
Richarlison is a very able replacement to bring off the bench as an impact sub.
Yeah.
But I would imagine it will be Son. But listen, whoever starts out of those guys,
tricky.
They're going to be a big test for our defence. But I can't wait for the game, man. I can't wait for the game.
Yeah.
How do you think Arteta will play in terms of how he sets the team up?
I think he'll want us to be the dominant team, get on the ball. We're at home. I think the impetus is on us. Last year we were, we came out the traps flying, didn't we? Beat them 3-1. I think it was 3-0 up in that game.
Yeah. Kind of eased off in the second half a bit.
Yeah. So I think the onus will be on us to play on the front foot. I think Conte will just come in and sit back and say, listen, they'll wait for a counter attack. So we need to. I think the key in this game, you've got to take your chances. I look at that Tottenham team, I don't think they're great defensively. I don't think their midfield's great either.
It's interesting you say that, though, but they haven't been beaten this season.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Listen,
I know that was it the right back? Who's the Brazilian guy?
Chicken Royale.
Emerson Royale. Stick from the Tottenham fans.
Yeah.
But he must be doing something.
Martinelli needs to be getting him. He needs to be aiming, targeting him. It's funny, they signed Jed Spence, not even on the bench some of them games. So I don't think Conte signed him. Listen, when Conte's your manager, you're going to have a resilience about you. You know what he's like. You can see what kind of character. They're going to be difficult to beat, but I do think that defence can be got at. Emerson Royale, don't particularly rate him. Davinson Sanchez, I think he can be got at. He's got a mistake in Eric Dyer. I mean, you've seen him last night, mate. He can be got at as well. So, listen, I think if Arsenal can take an early chance, get them on the back foot, I think we can go for them. But it's about taking that chance and creating that opportunity. So. It's but I think Arteta will want to be the dominant team. He'll want the ball. He'll want to.
I think they'll get most of the ball.
Yeah,
I think Conte is quite happy at to let us have the ball and to try and hit us on the counter. It's a tactic he's deployed on several occasions, and I don't see it being any different this weekend. I think the first 15, 20 minutes are going to be crucial in this game, because I think if we can go at them and maybe get a goal or two. Get a goal, like you said earlier in the piece there, then that means that they have to do something. They have to be proactive and come out, and then that's when we can hopefully
pick them off a bit.
But I'm really looking forward to the game. Top game, some top players. The atmosphere is going to be great. Are you going to the game?
No, I'm not going.
Doing a watch along
for it. I was going to go to the game actually, but because it's early and I got some daddy duties, got to take my son to football and that. But the atmosphere will be rocking. 12:30 kickoff as well.
We don't always do great in early kickoffs, but that tends to be away from home. That being said, we had an early kickoff in our last game against Brentford, and that did go well.
Played
very
well.
Impressive. That game, a lot of people, myself included, he was expecting that to be a real test, and let's be honest, man, we won fairly comfortably. It's a bit of a kickabout for the boys.
Tony getting hammered with that one, didn't he?
But listen, man, without any further ado, I'm going to press you for a prediction on why. You have kind of hinted at it anyway, but just for the record, give us your prediction and tell us why you think that they will play out the way you're predicting.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. Tight game. I do think it will be difficult. They haven't, like you said, they haven't been beaten this season. Son and Kane and them guys, but I still think we'll get the better of them. I think being at home, a lot of our team didn't go on international duty as well, which I think makes a big difference. I saw that Son, Kane and Richarlison all went away for their country, whereas Jesus, Martinelli didn't go. Saka, started one game, came on late in the second game. So I think our front line will be a lot more full of energy than them. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I think if we score early, we could potentially repeat last season and maybe 3-1, but I'm going to go 2-1. I think it will be a tight game. I think Tottenham will give us a difficult game, but I think momentum will just give us a 2-1 win.
Okay, interesting. I've got a couple of super chats I want to read out before I give my predictions. So, Turkish fans Irish chapter says, hope referee doesn't spoil the game. Now, listen, the referee is a very important part of the game, because you're going to have to be strong, you're going to have to give decisions as you see it, and keep control of the players, as we've already said. It's a big game, and it's some feisty characters on both teams. Right, okay. I hope I don't butcher this. Annie Rood says it's Liverpool versus Man United. Manchester derby, then the North London derby. So what are you saying? It's third place? I can't agree with that, man.
Listen, Man United Liverpool is definitely a big game, but
they're all big games.
They're all big games, but I think we were more talking like the same City derby, and I think Arsenal Tottenham is bigger than Man United Man City, because I just don't think that rivalry was there for a long time when City was. And
listen, I've got a brother that lives in Manchester, and I speak to him about things like that, and he says, yes, the rivalry is there, but it's not as intense as Arsenal-Tottenham.
No, I don't think so.
And certainly that's the way I'm looking at it. Another super chat here from Rizwan Khan. It says 3-0 Arsenal, all goals coming in the first 20 minutes.
Wow. I tell you what, I hope he's right. We'll take that.
I'm not going to pronounce that, and that sounds like a bit of a wind-up, but the super chat all the same. Yeah, we're going to smash Spurs. Bookmark this super chat. So another one that's very confident there.
Yeah, put some score predictions in the comments. Let us know what you
Yeah,
think.
let us know what you think, guys.
Yeah. People very
A few
confident.
shouts here for the biggest derby. Getting a few shouts here for Celtic Rangers, which is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone said they're 4-0 Tottenham. I can't see that happening.
Nah, no chance.
Celtic Rangers. Old Firm. This guy says Old Firm first, Tyne and Weir derby then.
Tyne and Weir, that's what's that?
Sunderland
Newcastle.
and Newcastle. That's not happened for a while, has it?
No, it hasn't. No, I know that. Yeah, again, they're passionate up there. I don't think.
Listen, man, there's a lot of passionate derbies all over the country. I think that's the very essence of British football.
Yeah, even Liverpool, Everton, you know, they'll tell you that they're all passionate. I think the reason we're edging for this one is because the closeness of the two teams now, and it's been like, you know, there's been a real dislike for a long time. I think Man United looked at Man City as like, I think Fergie called him the annoying, noisy neighbours. I don't think they really bothered him that much. It was more of an irritation kind of thing. Where I think Arsenal and Tottenham is real, you know, rivalry in it. Proper things going off, and on the pitch now, the level I think is very high in that game every time.
And let's face it, they're very closely matched. I mean, we're top at the moment. Tottenham are third. As I said earlier in the show, should Tottenham win, which I hope doesn't happen, obviously, they will actually leapfrog us and go top of the table, if only for, you know what I mean, a day or so. But it's still a big thing for them, you know what I mean? And obviously, if we win, we will stay top of the league. So there's a lot riding on this game.
100%.
And then, like you said earlier, Curtis, we've got another very difficult game next week.
Yeah.
So to go into that game, coming off the back of a North London derby win, I would say it's massive. I mean, it helps build momentum for the rest of the season.
I mean, I'm looking at the dynamics. I think this game is huge for Arteta because, you know, if anything went wrong in this game, people are going to say about Arteta, well, you lost to United, you know, if anything goes wrong against Tottenham, and then you got Klopp next week. All of a sudden, things can change very quickly. You know, people go, all right, you were top, but every good team you've played, you've lost them. So for me, I said the other day, I think we have to get minimum 4 points out of Tottenham and Liverpool, in my opinion, minimum 4. But I think it's more important to get the 3 points against Tottenham if we were going to. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather beat Tottenham than draw with Liverpool than the other way round because of the rivalry. So, but if we do beat Tottenham, it gives us great momentum going into that Liverpool.
And I don't want to look too far ahead, but I would say, tell me what you think. If we beat Tottenham this weekend, Tottenham, going into that Liverpool game, that would give us so much confidence because I don't think Liverpool are anywhere near the team they were last year.
No.
And in previous seasons, Liverpool have been one of our Achilles' heels.
Yeah, 100%.
The only thing I would say, this season, they're not there yet, man.
The only thing I'd say with Liverpool, I think they got Brighton at home this week, and I saw that nearly all their injured players are back.
Oh, okay.
So you know, we need the momentum going into that game. It may be a trickier game than Liverpool have been in previous weeks, but I think if we could beat Tottenham, we can look at that Liverpool game and think, you know what, we'll go for them. You know what I mean? Rather than we can't afford to lose kind of thing.
Yep. Few Birmingham Villa.
Birmingham Villa, I mean,
rank of that?
Yeah, I mean,
you're familiar with the Midlands.
Yeah, it is a big game. I mean, in Nottingham, and Nottingham Forest derby, they got a rival.
Forest playing, they got
Leicester.
Yeah,
that's a rivalry.
That's not far off a derby. That's quite a East Midlands thing.
Derby, that's what I mean.
A relegation 6 point.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, it's, that will be kicking off.
That will be kicking off, right?
It's listen, all the opinions are great. I think people will say historically the Old Firm. I think we're more looking at it from the footballing side of it with the Arsenal Tottenham one. I think
a couple of people here said Chelsea Tottenham.
Listen, they definitely dislike each other. Yeah, there's a real dislike between them. I think West Ham and Tottenham as well. Maybe it's just anyone and Tottenham. You know what I mean?
I remember a couple of seasons ago, Dele Alli was suggesting that Chelsea Tottenham had surpassed Arsenal and Tottenham. And even Tottenham fans were saying, no way. The team that they really hate and they really want to get one over on is us, Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I think if you speak to Arsenal fans, you know what I mean? I know some Arsenal fans, but they're not really bothered about Champions League place and that. As long as we beat Tottenham 2 times in a season, they'll take that. You know what I mean? But that shows you the strength of the rivalry there.
Yeah. What's your score prediction?
Right, okay, my score prediction. You know what, bro? I'm going to go with what you said. I had to think about it before we did the show, and I was trying to come up with all these different permutations. But I do think it will be a closely contested game. I do think there will be goals. And let's be honest, man, pretty much Tottenham always score against Arsenal. I'd love to be able to sit here and say 2-0, 3-0.
Yeah.
But if I'm being realistic and I'm being honest with myself, the firepower that they have going forward, they always seem to score against us.
Yeah.
But if we score more than them, at the end of the day, that's what it counts. So, yeah, give me a 2-1.
Yeah.
3-1 even better, but realistically, I think it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah.
And I think it could be a couple of moments of magic or even a couple of errors.
I saw that Lloris didn't play for France. He was injured, so I don't know whether he's going to play for Tottenham. That would be a big loss for them if he didn't play.
Although I know some Spurs fans who are not wholly convinced about Lloris these days. He seems to have his days, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a mistake in him nowadays.
He's got a mistake in him. But then I've seen other occasions where he's, you know what I mean, he's kept Spurs in it. So.
The interesting thing is their second choice keeper is Fraser Forster.
Oh, yes.
Who last year for Southampton played like Spider-Man against us. So maybe we want Lloris in goal to be fair. You know what I mean? But no, I can't wait for the game. And
myself included.
It's going to be exciting.
Right. Okay, bro. You said 2-1, I said 2-1. We're coming to the end of the show. In closing, is there anything else you want to say to the people out there?
Oh, listen, just looking forward to the game. Hopefully we collect 3 points. I think we have to win this game. As I said, for me, a draw would not be enough with it being a home game. If it was away from home, I think I'd take a draw. But at home, 12:30, just had an international break. You've got to go and get them.
That's the great thing about this game as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coming off what happened with the Queen, there was no football there. Then you roll into the international break. Okay, we had a game in between that. But, you know, you had the international break and we're saying, oh, man. And now you come back.
Big game.
The first weekend back, and it's a massive, massive game.
Massive.
And me, like, Saturdays, I tend to look at as my sort of lie-in day, Saturday. But hell no, not this weekend. I'll be up early, man.
Up early.
Up early, feeling the vibes. I'll be doing the watch-along. I'll be down here. So, yeah, man, I can't wait.
Massive game. Hopefully we win. We've got 9 games in October.
9 games. I've got another super chat here. Let me see if I can... I'm trying to get the super chat up. I'm not able to actually access the super chat, although super chat is coming up. Oh, sorry, EBB. If we do beat them lot, I take it he's talking Arsenal beating Spurs. That Liverpool game is going to be massive mentally. We haven't scored against them since 2020. Hope Jesus doesn't get a yellow, so he's kind of echoing what you said there about.
I mean, listen, no disrespect to Eddie, but listen, you don't want to be playing Van Dijk without Jesus up front. You need Jesus. I think if we get to a stage against Tottenham where, if we're in a fortunate enough position, you get him off.
You know what though? I think pretty much most of the games. Jesus has come on, and Eddie has, you know, substituted for him. So
we need him for that Liverpool game. And I didn't even realise we haven't scored for that long against Liverpool. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I just think if we beat Tottenham, we go to that Liverpool game thinking we can beat them. We're going to go for them. If we lose, I think it makes us apprehensive going to that game. So I think this is a massive game for our season. I really do. I think absolutely huge game. Bigger than the Old Firm.
I can't underscore it enough.
Yeah,
it's a massive game for Arsenal.
Huge game.
Probably bigger for Arsenal than it is for Spurs, given the fact that we're at home and we're, you know, currently top of the table. So we're trying to maintain that momentum.
Yeah.
But listen, bro, we've come to the end of the show now. Once again, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks so much for coming down and giving us the benefit of your opinions. Tell the people they can find you for the 137th time.
Curtis Shaw TV. I'm there daily, people. Watch-alongs as well. Big up to everyone for supporting.
And you must give me a shout after the watch-along.
Yeah, get yourself on. There'll be a lot to talk about. Get you and Fran on.
Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Can't wait. Thanks, guys, for watching. Like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Keep watching, keep supporting. Please respond in the comments. What do you think? We absolutely believe that the North London derby is currently the biggest derby in British football. We'd love to hear your opinions. We're getting a lot of Celtic Rangers, which we expected. Had a few Birmingham Villas and Man United, Man City, and, you know, some other ones thrown in them. But let us know what you think, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much for watching.